When it was good, the other side of the door was really good. But unfortunately, I'd say only about 10% of this film was scary. The rest of it was thought provoking, but not exactly spine chilling. This was released in 2016, directed by Johannes Roberts, written by Roberts and Ernest Riera. And this stars Sarah Wayne Callies as a mother who has lost her young son. She still has a daughter, which is relevant, a young girl called Lucy, played by Sofia Rosinsky, and Maria has a chance to see her son again. But unfortunately, meddling with the dead brings pretty horrible consequences. And yeah, I mean, I like the fact that it's saying if you mess with the dead, this is going to turn out badly. And there were some creepy moments, but really not many. It was atmospheric, but I feel like they relied too much on eerie music and some jump scares rather than actual creepy moments. And that felt like a bit of a letdown because when it was good, it was really good. But there were just not too many of those moments. I feel like they could have leaned more into the creepy child aspect. Lucy was a little creepy, particularly with scenes surrounding Oliver. I can't really say too much about it without spoiling it, but I feel like I don't know if it was just a budget thing and they couldn't spend too much time on the child's creepy makeup and making her look eerie, but occasionally she'd have some facial expressions that were quite sinister, and they could have done a lot more with the child, with the character. Instead, what we get are a lot of scenes where it's just Maria looking lost or in an open space, and then occasionally there'll be a jump scare where this man appears, and it's very repetitive. The narrative doesn't really go anywhere. Not a lot happens, and it's basically just the whole thing's what, an hour and a half, give or take. I'd say an hour of it is the same thing of just the mother longing for her dead son and some creepy music in the background, and that's basically all we get. But when we have other characters brought in, such as her daughter, yeah, it's not too bad. And the piano, that was quite a good thing to include. The soft toy, I thought that was nice because it was mysterious and it was unpredictable what might happen next. But those moments were so few and far between that it was kind of tedious to sit through it. So unfortunately, it relied too much on cheap tricks, like, as I said, some music and dimly lit scenes with a mother who's on her own, potentially going out of her mind, and that's basically all that happened. And it could have been more because when it was good, the good bits were good. The scenes with, well, the scene with the death of the boy, it was really, really difficult to watch. I won't say how he died or what happened. I don't want to spoil it in case you do wish to watch this. But that scene was so difficult. Because if you're the mother in that situation, what do you do? And I thought it was beautifully done. It was emotional, it was raw, it felt believable. And I thought, okay, this is actually getting off to a really good start, setting us up for a well written, well crafted film. And then it started to just bring in some cheap tricks and stopped being very interesting. And then, as I said, we have the piano and the soft toy and the daughter's involvement, but as a lot of it was just the mother on her own in a deserted place or whatever, and then a man would appear and jump scare them. That's basically it. Would I recommend it? If, like me, you're always keen to watch child based horrors, give it a go because there are some good moments. It's not too bad, and it is atmospheric. Even though it's not necessarily scary or that good, I still wouldn't watch it with the lights off. I mean, I would, because that's how I watch horrors usually, but it would be one where I'd have to turn the light on as soon as it was done. Maybe one would argue that that's a sign of a good horror, but I just argue that it's the sign of a cheap thrill. So it could have been so much better because it had glimmers of being better. And it just seems like they ran out of time or they ran out of money and decided to just do a bunch of stuff that was cheap and easy instead. So it's not amazing, but it had potential. If it sounds like your kind of horror in general, give it a go. But if you're not really a big fan of slightly creepy child-based horror films, then I wouldn't say it's worth rushing to see. I watched it on Disney Plus, so if you do have a subscription to Disney Plus, then it might be worth adding to your watch list and getting around to at some point.